All right, we're live. And let's give people a minute to get logged in, sign up. Thank you, everybody who's here. We are live at the BlockX AMA. And we're just going to get started here as people file in. We are live today with the BlockX CEO, Manindra, aka Nick, and he has a number of exciting updates for us. So my name is Atma. I'm head of marketing here for the BlockX program, and we're very excited about what we're bringing. Bringing out a new type of, and not a new type, but a new mentality to the level one blockchain world, something that we feel is absolutely missing. And we're here to fill the gap, to support developers, and to build the strongest blockchain community that has ever been built. And so that's all about everybody out there that's listening. And so I'm excited to introduce Nick today. He is the founder and CEO of BlockX. He's done a tremendous job bringing this from nothing into reality. He's built a great team. We're all impressed with the engineering. And that, of course, is the core of any chain project, is do you have great engineers? And we do. So, Nick, why don't you start by introducing yourself and telling us just a little bit about how you got this project started?
Yeah, so I mean, we have been at this for almost a year now, and so yeah, building the chain through a lot of change over the past few months in terms of how we want to build it and who we want to build it for. And now with everything that we see is happening with the Ethereum merge and other things, we really think like our vision of what a chain should be is really coming into fruition, which is basically a chain that's built that is easy for both developers and users, a chain that is sort of like a full suite that lets you really build apps, and the apps that are open and can go live stream very easily. And finally, a chain that is community owned and managed, and both for the governance perspective and also from how the reward system will work. We will leave that part for later, for probably the next call, in terms of how the governance and the reward system. A lot of exciting updates coming in that really differentiates blockchain from anything else to be something fully community owned from the ground up. Today, I want to focus on a few initial developments that are just coming up with us being prime and ready for development, and then we're happy to take more questions.
Great, thank you. So actually, that sounds like a perfect jumping off point. Can you bring us up to date?
Sure. So okay, let's do a quick 10 minutes over two sections. One is an update on the roadmap, and then second is like how developers can actually, our users can start testing BlockX and actually already get in. So in terms of the roadmap, and this is a very very short term roadmap, we're looking at possibly next 8 weeks, right? So we have the testnet live right now, and the ultimate goal is to get to the initial mainnet as soon as possible. So that's the race, and we try and we have to do it everything right with and make it secure and everything else and well tested. So that's the race that we are running. So the incentivized testnet is good, and is running, and we'll share more information. Those and this information and the tools will improve. There's developer documentation that we'll share today. You can see the link. Ongoingly over the next 4 weeks, we are also recruiting 21 validators. We actually opened up the applications for validators a couple of weeks ago, and we have 100 plus applications, but we'll go through them now over the next 2 to 3 weeks, and we'll select our first 21 developers for the initial chain. The validators have basically helped to secure the blockchain, maintain it, They need to keep a minimum of 100,000 BCX, and they are also the ones who will who will be able to, where delegators will basically be able to stake their tokens. Right now, preliminary, we are doing the staking for the users, but that responsibility will mainly pass on to all the to validators. Um, we are talking with various audit partners to do an audit, but we are trying to time that audit right before the mainnet launch, so that the mainnet version is the fully audited version that can finally go live. So it'll probably have happen somewhere in October. So between now and so on October 28th, we will do a decision meeting internally in terms of with the validators and everybody else in terms of when should we go live with mainnet, and if we feel confident that this can go live right now, then we could go live as soon as October 25th. But that's a decision that we have to take, and if we feel like we need more testing and we need more we need more time, so we're going to take that time over 1 or 2 weeks. Having said that, this is just a software development roadmap. The listing, which is now scheduled for October 31st, is not going to change. So whether the mainnet is live or not live, we're still going with the listing date of October 31st. That's the official listing across certain DEXs and exchanges. More news announcements are going to come soon about that. So listing for sure October 31st. Mainnet maybe a few days earlier or a few weeks later. So that decision will be taken on October 20th, and we will do that update now. So that covers the first part of the roadmap. The second is about developing. So actually, let me share my screen.
Actually, can we just couple updates, a couple follow-up questions on the roadmap, because I'm getting some questions here. Explain just quickly the role of the validator and why you only select 21, and what's the criteria for choosing a validator?
Right. So the validators are basically because we have our chain is the delegated proof of stake chain that basically operates with a group of validators, essentially run the various nodes that operate the blockchain. We don't centrally own those nodes, and ultimately, like chains like Cosmos and Binance Smart Chain go up to 100 and 100 plus validators. We are keeping a pool of 20 in the beginning, so they are like sort of like initial well trusted validators who have worked as validators in previous chains. So it's not only like a financial thing that someone has accumulated a lot of tokens, it's also about their experience that we are going to curate the first list. This is not going to happen going forward, but at least in the beginning. And then secondly, beyond that, we will make sure that the group is diverse enough so that there is so there cannot be any potential collaboration among them. We want them to be free thinking. They're basically free thinking 21 validators from diverse different chains. That'll also bring us knowledge, input, and network from various chains, and potentially grow the BlockX network and bring in more people to the chain. And in terms of like technical requirements or token requirements, there is some hardware requirements that we are going to post shortly that they have to do in terms of for running the node software. And then in terms of tokens, that's bare minimum of 100,000 BCX, and they can depending on number of BCX that results into how much power they have on the chain and how much delegators that they can take on. But 100,000 is the minimum, and from there on they can increase. So yeah, yeah.
Great, thank you. I think that's really important. Not everybody understands the full role and importance of the validator, and the importance that you have a diverse and group that cannot collude in any way. Then following up on the one more point on the roadmap, you mentioned somebody asked about launching the mainnet before or after the listing, and you actually answered that question, that those things are not mutually exclusive or tied together. The mainnet will launch when it's appropriate and the audit is completed. Is that correct?
Yeah, mainnet is launched after audit and testing.
Yeah. So that may happen by the 21st of October, or it may not, but that will not impact the listing, which is scheduled for October 21st. that correct?
30, October 31st is the listing. So that is fixed. On the October 20th, we will do an internal review, and then we will come back with our decision on the mainnet on the mainnet release date on October 21st. So it will be another AMA, but that doesn't change it. That decision will not affect the listing date decision.
Got it. Yep. Okay. So those are all the questions we've had on the roadmap updates. Please continue with what you were about to say about development.
So I will go through it very quickly in terms of, let me do you guys see my screen?
Yep, we see your screen, sir.
Okay, actually, let me see if I can go right from here. Okay, so by the way, so our documentation is live. So this will basically take you through various things that we have built, and I think is the best way to navigate and learn about the chain. And the testnet is called Oxygen. In order to use the Oxygen, the first things that you have to do is basically connect your MetaMask and also get some initial tokens. So what I would recommend is to actually go to the faucet site. That's faucet.blockxnet.com. And over here, if you click on this button, add BlockX network, it'll actually automatically connect your MetaMask to that network. I'm already connected, so it did not change for me. And then the moment it changed, it'll be Oxygen over here. So just to actually show you, if I'm on Ethereum and if I add this, so it'll automatically let you connect, and it'll add the BCX token. This is obviously all on testnet. And then if you copy your address and you paste it here and say claim, yeah, then you'd get your 3 BCX for free. And it's limited to 3 BCX per address. If you need more, you can create more address on your MetaMask and basically get that. So that's how you connect. You get your the test tokens on the network, and you can test the network itself. You can send, receive, and deploy contracts to the bare minimum. Um, these are just to reiterate. These are just test tokens. So these will disappear when the main net comes in. This is just for testing purposes. Then we have the deploying of the contracts. So if you go under layer one chains, so deploying smart contracts. So right now you can deploy them with testnet. You can deploy them with Remix, and we have the full instruction set here. And then you also have a hard hat. So anyone can deploy basically smart contracts on the network. The best thing is that it is fully EVM compatible, and it is built on top of Cosmos, so it is also IBC compatible. So that gives you the best of both worlds. Any contract currently running on Ethereum, on Binance, on Polygon, okay, are ready to go, and you can just immediately deploy those same contracts over here. Then so please go ahead and try it, and then if you have any questions, ping us. We are also coming up with a grant program, so do tell us what you're building, and then we'll potentially be able to support you in certain ways as well. One of the exciting thing that's coming up is a bridge. So let's say you already have your existing app in another network, and you bring it to BlockX, but your tokens are already issued through the bridge. The same tokens, you don't have to reissue the tokens in BlockX. You can actually bring those tokens through the bridge across to BlockX for both you and the users. So we'll talk more about that kind of portability later on, but we are basically working hard to make it very, very easy and good to go for developers. So yeah, just to reiterate, faucet and you can connect to the testnet, and then installation instructions are here. What else? Yeah, we can also test. We have actually four. We're building a better explorer, but right now we have four what is called Block Scouts Explorer, but it's connected to our network. So if you go to Explorer Block Scout, any transactions that you make, you can actually view the transactions. You can view the transactions right here. So yeah, so if you need to validate, but this Explorer is going to change pretty soon. This is in the works. Yeah, and then I think that's about it, right? So those are the updates. So you can connect your MetaMask, you can connect to the network, get some free faucet tokens. They're just testnet tokens, not going to be used for any trading. And then you can deploy smart contracts. You can send each other those tokens. So this is the first step. In a few days more, we will launch a few more tools, few more developer tools, and then we will then also introduce to the more advanced functions, which are the cross chain settlements, the bridge, the inbuilt oracle, and then self sovereign identity. So those things will be built basically on top of it. The mainnet that's going to be launched will have only a subset of these functions, because we want to basically get to a point where I think there is enough value with just the base network, and developers can start building on it already. And as we launch the new functions as modules, they can upgrade and take advantage of those networks. So yeah, I'm very excited for you to test it out. And please give us feedback and work with us with a grant program and other things to continue building on BlockX. Yep, that's it.
Wow, thank you. That is a super excellent update. One of the other questions that's come up, this is all really exciting, but what is it? Could you go in a little bit deeper to why developers should be so excited about the BlockX chain, particularly from the perspective of being a universal chain. In other words, a lot of people are afraid of, you get locked into one chain's ecosystem and then you can't communicate with other chains. Nobody wants to be building inside of a silo. How does BlockX ensure that whatever they build is going to be a universal application?
Yeah, I mean, we are bringing in cross-chain settlement. So your I think ultimately uh, applications will reside into multiple networks. So those networks should basically be able to talk to each other, and that's we are a very friendly network, talking to every other network as much as possible through everybody else in the Cosmos ecosystem using IBC, beyond the Cosmos using Gravity, and then we have our own bridge as well. So we are probably the most open network right now, that if you build on us, that network or that application should be able to communicate with almost every other chain that is out there. And then we have built in a few features that are easy for developers. So just for example, we are building in, let's say, your oracles and other things. For any other network to bring in all these functions, you actually have to call a different chain. So you're going in and out of chains to get the various functions. But we have a modular structure. So if you're calling the same chain, and just inside the modules you get those functions, so it becomes much easier to deploy and secured. Finally, the incentives is what makes us really different. We're going to announce that in a separate call and a blog post, but essentially both the inflation as well as the gas fees, they are divided between the validators and the developers on the chain. We're on the first chain to do that, because ultimately, obviously, the validators contribute a lot, but developers as well into sort of building the chain. So that brings in an additional income stream to developers. So based on how much activity they generate on the network, through their smart contracts or through their work, they're going to get a share. They're going to get a stake in the inflation and the gas fee that's coming in. Finally, we are also making it, as I said, much more community owned. So there will be a governance protocol, including governance and architecture of the chain as well. So in the future, when the proposals for changes and proposals for building new features come in, anybody else from community can also join those missions, join those proposals, and again, a pool of those gas fees and the inflation will basically go on to what we call the protocol developers. So BlockX, the initial team, is just like a foundation kickstarting team. And ultimately, we expect the community to take over, and those who contribute in making it better also get rewarded for doing so. We are one of the first chains that are doing that for both the developers of the protocol layer as well as developers of a smart chain. There is no other chain that's doing that. So I think from developer perspective and from developer incentives, we are yeah, it's probably the best place to be right now.
Wow. Well, that's a great explanation. And I, for one, am very enthusiastic about this approach. What you're describing is the correct and I think the best, most efficient way to build things in the modern future, a decentralized approach that over time gives ownership of the entire system back to the people who are using and building the system. And you're demonstrating a real commitment to that. So that's very exciting. All right, so we have another question here about the mainnet swap bonus.
Okay, so yeah, that's a tricky question. So basically, we have taken a snapshot on September 21st to basically everyone who has been, because the project has been delayed for some time, including listing, and we understand that. So we took two major steps to sort of basically give back to the community and give back to the holders for an extended period of time of holding the tokens and keeping and staying on with the project. And those two has been, we have burned 40%, 400 million tokens from from our supply. So that will become the initial supply is now 600 million. So their stake is finally a lot more than they used to be. And then everybody will, and we took a snapshot, and when they switch over to the mainnet, so they have to physically operate and claim the tokens, basically move on. That also gives an incentive to move to the mainnet. They get a 50% bonus on their holdings. And and that and that is all on a specific date. The date was mentioned in the previous blogspot. I think it was 12 September. So there is a caveat to that, is that we are for the bonus, for the burn, everybody gets the benefit for that. For the bonus that is new and additional, uh, we are excluding from that bonus anyone who participates into unofficial dexes. The reason is very simple. So we gave our tokens early and in advance because we believe people should be able to hold these tokens and move them between their wallets. They have the ownership for that. However, for the trading, I think trading is a whole community thing. When we launch these tokens on exchanges and dexes, we have a market making and everything else, and we also did a parallel token sale. So we don't want them to spoil that by any joining in any unofficial dex pools. So anyone who participates in dex pools still keeps hold of their tokens, get benefit of the burn, but will not get benefit of the 50% bonus. Or anyone who even purchases from any of those account addresses or get transferred or connected even 2 or 3 layers will not get benefit of the 50% bonus. Everyone who just holds the token. So if you just hold the token, move it between your own wallets and everything else, you're fine. You'll get that bonus. So that's a 50%. There will be a box similar to what I showed on the faucet. So you join the faucet, you move on to the main net, and you'll be able to get. There is a vesting period over 2 years, so that was also detailed on the previous one. So this additional bonus comes over 2 years. All of that means that everybody who has been with us for an extended period of time, been through the project's ups and downs and delays, basically gets a very large share over the network, right? So we have increased that stake by exponentially by both burning and doing this measure to sort of compensate for a delay of the listing.
Wow. Okay, that was a very thorough and excellent explanation. Thank you for that. Um, we did have a couple more questions for you. One of them was about the projected listing price. Do you have a sense of what that might be?
We are working out the details, but it'll be approximately um, between 0.185 and 20 cents, 1850 cents and 20 cents. I think that'll be our target.
Okay, excellent. What did we just got a question about marketing? Would you like me to answer that?
Yeah, sure.
So this is a couple of people have asked about what we are doing about the marketing, and to be honest, part of what we're doing about the marketing is creating the best possible user experience we can. There's been a lot of hype and a lot of vaporware in the blockchain community and industry for the last couple of years. And BlockX is committed to creating something of extraordinary value that really separates itself from the other chains, even the big, well-established chains. And our opinion is that the best way to do that is to create the best experience for all of you. both through transparency, both through support, and creating the tools and environment that really helps you succeed. We believe that in making the early developers and the early users successful and supported, that you will be the best form of marketing. We are not here to just sell an idea. We're here to create a future and the best blockchain that's out there. So rather than over focusing on becoming some kind of a crazy hype machine, we are putting all of our energy into creating the best possible experience, both in the engineering and in the communications. So we really welcome your feedback. We really want your comments. We really want to engage with any dialogue you have. And we are here for the long run. So it's a longer approach. But we believe that this is a better approach.
Yep.
Okay, let's see. Do we have any other questions out there? And what can we expect to learn over the next in the next AMA, the next update? You alluded to things that you wanted to be talking about in the near future. What can we be looking forward to?
I mean, we'll do more AMAs. Obviously, one will be on October 21st when we have the decision for the list for the mainnet launch. And in between now and that, we will do a lot of partnership announcements, partnerships with brand new backers, new exchanges. Yeah, so those are in the pipeline, and as they get finalized over the next 4 to 6 weeks, so we will get those, and we'll probably invite some of them to join in this AMA as well.
So speaking of partnerships, also, do you have a list already of what platforms BCX will be listed on?
So yeah, we're finalizing that list as of now. So yeah, we're going to come up with a separate blog post where we can list all the initial exchanges, both Texas and central exchanges. And it's only the initial. I think it will carry on forward. BlockX is a very long-term project, and it has been incentivized and architectured in such a way that we will obviously take it to a forward and a stable format between this listing and all the way towards all the developments that are in the pipeline. And even beyond that, we believe the community will take more and more control over the chain itself and the governance, and will probably continue. And then more and more exchanges and listings and other things will continue. The initial ones we're going to launch, we're going to announce somewhere in October.
Excellent. Wow, well, this has been a really great overview and a great update. We're nearing the end of our time, but do you have any last words that you want to leave the audience with?
Well, connect with us if you want to partner with us in various ways. So one is for developers, bringing in your suite of apps from other chains. So we are testnet ready. We can test your apps already. If you have any problems, just talk to us directly. And so we can be one of the initial partners that go live when the mainnet comes in. If you're a validator, talk to us about being part of that group of 21. If you're an investor, so we are opening up a new round, and between now and 31st, there will be internal token sales. So yeah, connect with us about that as well. Yeah, and let's make it the best smart chain possible, which is both open and community owned.
And what's the best channel for reaching you and getting this?
There's a contact form directly on the website, so you can use that. The second best would be the Telegram. But I think the Telegram gets a lot of message. If you have a more direct partnership, I think mention that right in the very beginning, and then talk very specifically what marketing, how you want to partner. Now, obviously, I understand there are a lot of services, so like let's differentiate between those where you want to sell our services, and we definitely want to hear from you as well. But like the partnership is what we are really looking for: validators, developers, investors, exchanges. So yeah, let's connect them, because those are the ones that we're going to finalize, and we will announce them in a group over the next AMA.
Great. Excellent. All right. Well, thank you so much. This I hope that this has been as helpful for everybody as it has been fun for us to do. And reiterating that we are again here and available. And thank you all. We'll see you at the next AMA.
Okay. Thanks everyone. Thanks.